because we can still, get together and meet without you having to leave your home and be a part of something great. So welcome, congratulations to each of you for being here. You're either participating or preparing yourself to participate in this pitch competition, or you just here because, you know what, I just want to glean a couple of nuggets that's going to help carry me forward, whatever the case. And we're going to get to that. Thank you for being here tonight. And I'm hoping that you all will engage. Very informal session, but I'm hoping that it will be informative. If everybody can just give me a shout, I don't see everybody's screen or on screen, but if you can just at least acknowledge in the chat, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. And we will go ahead and get started. I do have a slide deck that we're going to go through and just talk about a few things regarding your business. Today's session is about my 3 B's, but it's 5 B's actually. We got two bookends and the 3 B's in the middle. And that is believing, building, branding, banking, but don't break in the process as you all consider going into business. And so we're going to talk about each of those. But first, let me
say that again, please. Jameece?
The B's?
Yes.
Believing.
Yeah.
Building.
Yeah.
Branding. Banking, but don't break as you go into business. So believing in your business, building the business, branding your business, banking so that you can bank, and banking on your business. But as you grow your business and move your business forward, you can't break in the process. And I think those are some important nuggets that I've taken away in my own growth and maturation and building a business from ground up. I've learned quite a bit. Some of you may be in business. Some of you may be thinking about, we're going to go into who's in the room in a moment. But those are the 5 areas that we're going to just touch on during this evening session. So get your pen and papers out, get your notebooks, get your phones with your notepads. Hopefully you'll take some notes. But if it's okay, Colette, I'm going to go ahead and share screen.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So first, let me again just introduce myself as Jameece Pinckney, the business boss, President and CEO of HyQuest Consulting Solutions. Throughout COVID, amidst COVID, my L2M, Logo to Market Business Boss Academy was evolved, and we've partnered with the Forum Women's Leadership Forum on a number of fronts to include this pitch competition. And so I am again very happy to be here today. A couple of things I would like to do to get started. And that's, of course, an introduction of myself. Colette read my bio. It's on my website. It's not really a big deal. What's a big deal is that you're here, and I'm hopeful that you'll be able to take away a few things. Starting with the icebreaker, I would like to do with everyone in the room. And I like to ask, what's in your bag? Not your purse, although this is your purse, the pitch competition. But what's in your bag? Your bag, I'm referencing, is your business or your idea of a business or the thought of possibly starting a business. So I want you to first write down on that piece of paper, those notepads you have, why you are here. I just want to, write down one sentence. Why are you taking this course tonight? Why are you here? Why are you participating in this pitch competition? You don't have to say that out loud. I'm not going to go around the room. But I do like to put words to paper so that you can see and pull those words off of paper for action. Why are you here? And 3 essential tools you already have in your bag, right? You got your bag, and I want to show you a bag that I would like to give each of you all when you leave here today. This is my bag. These are your 5 B's of business. And for attending the session today, you will receive one of these bags, because we hope that you will fill this bag up as you continue your journey. As Colette said, I am here to assist you in your business journey. So I'm looking forward to sharing this bag with you. But again, right now we want to take just a couple of minutes for you to write down what's in your bag. Write down why you're here and 3 things that you brought into this room tonight, that you brought into your bag, your toolbox. And I'll give you a minute to do that. Give it some thought and write that down. And as you're contemplating, believing in a business, building your business, branding your business, banking on your business, and continuing your business forward without breaking in the process, you all came here with some elements that's been working. Those things that have been working for you, I want you to write a couple of those things down, and you'll reference those as we go throughout this evening. I'll give you about 30 more seconds to do that. I want this to be engaging, so if you're willing to share a couple of those things, I'm not going to ask you to do that, but if you're willing to share, certainly put your name in the chat or acknowledge in the chat that I'm willing to share a couple of those things. Sometimes it's nice for others to hear you're thinking some things and others hearing what you're hearing. This is why we're all here together tonight. 10 more seconds and then we'll move on. All right, so you've written those things down. So the next thing I would like to do is just give a shout out to, again, all of you, but let me know where you're from. Type in the chat what city you're living in, what area. Are you DMV? Are you Virginia? Are you Maryland? In the DMV area, are you Virginia, Maryland, or DC? Where are you hailing from this evening? All right, Baltimore, Maryland. Maryland. Okay, everybody's across the bridge. I'm in Virginia. I am in Northern Virginia, far about 45 minutes west of DC, in a town called Haymarket. Okay, so you may not have heard of Haymarket. Maybe you've heard of Manassas, Virginia. If you've heard of Manassas, I'm about 10 miles or so west of Manassas. So that's where I'm coming from. A little bit about me. My story, I started out, I'm a lawyer by trade. My background, I kind of moved, I was in criminal law. I moved out of that, moved to the DMV area and decided to go into government contracting, much more appealing. And I'm an administrator, really by trade, I think. And I began to learn the business of doing business with the government, and worked from big business to small business, medium-sized firm, not so much in a law capacity, but as a contract administrator, and really grew up in that area from the boots up and until I landed in the VP role. And from there, I decided, you know what, I think I can do this for myself. Decided to leave my last job where I had been about 7 years, while I was kind of building my business in the underground, if you will, moonlighting, trying to build a business. And then I completely left when I had gotten things lined up and went into the business full time in 2017. And we've been off and running since then. And so we are a woman-owned small business government contractor, with a few elements. We primarily focus on acquisition, providing acquisition and IT support to the government. And then on the other side, my passion is working with women, small businesses, and helping them along that journey. A lot of people that I found just don't know what to do, how to get started, where to go, what questions to ask. So a lot of what I do, I found myself over the years, just as I've learned, I share what I've learned, because if I got it, you can get it. It really, a lot of it is just about information. So I'm hoping that tonight I'll be able to share some information to help you along in your journey. As I state here, I am here to educate, inspire, and empower you. All right, so let's get going on this business boss journey. All right, I've already mentioned that the crux of today's course, tonight's course, is what are the 5 B's? And again, they are believing, in yourself, building a strong, solid foundation for your business, branding your business, banking on your business, that comes around to the financials. But don't break in the process. It's easy to go into business, but it's hard staying there. And it's even more challenging as it grows, and understanding a lot of the nuances. So we're just going to go over some elementary things that I'm hopeful that, again, will be helpful. But I want to start with, though, anyone who is interested in sharing, before we go into the first B, sharing a little bit about what you brought into your tool bag. What did you bring? What's in your bag? You can just drop it in the chat, or you can get on the mic. I'm pretty, you all can just take yourself off mute, or just put yourself in the chat. Just type a couple of things as to what you brought into the room tonight, so I can hear. Okay, Regina says an open mind. That's good. Anybody else?
It's kind of hard for me to type in the chat right now, but
okay.
I will say that I brought in my tool bag, I have a strong network, my educational background, and then I have a vision to expand my business.
Awesome. So Doctor, can I call you Doctor?
You can call me Paula, but yes,
Dr. Paula,
Uh-huh.
Dr. P.
Dr. P.
All right. So Dr. P, what is your business?
So I am a mental health clinician, and I specialize in what is called brain spotting. Brain spotting is a therapeutic modality that is not commonly known in the community, and particularly the African American community. And so what I do is I work with athletes and the community in building stronger mental health capacity by using brain spotting.
Wow. We got some incredible women who are doing some incredible things. So kudos to you. No, appreciate you sharing that. That's awesome. All right. So Miss Shelley, what say you? You thought about this question differently. So please, let's hear from you.
Yes. Hi.
Hey.
I wrote it down, so I have to go back to it. But for me, I was thinking, I really bring to the table as a graphic designer. I bring this graphic design background. I bring my life coaching certification, and I bring a very unique set of skills, talents, and experiences that I believe helps me to be not just the best me that I can be, but it allows me to be open to others being the best them that they can be without making them feel some type of way. So allowing them to embrace themselves while I embrace myself.
Yeah, as a graphic artist, I really love you guys, you women, those that are in graphics art, because you have to see beyond. If I'm going to tell you this is what I want, it's something that you have to pull out and then turn it around and give me back what you're hearing, right? And that takes a special gift. I would say, that takes a special gift. So kudos to you for that vision and insight as well. All right, Miss Sakina, is it Sakina or Sakina? I'm sorry.
It's Sakina when you're being funny, but it's Sakina when you're being serious. Yes.
All right. What's going on with you?
Yeah, so I don't have an established business yet. What I have is a mind full of ideas, and a book where I've written down some of these ideas. So I'm here so that I can, I would say, take myself more seriously, or gain that confidence that I need to execute those ideas. And so what I bring in my bag are, amazing ideas, resourcefulness, and God. But God is like, baby, I need you to execute these ideas now. So that's why I'm here.
Amen. So that's a great segue into the first B. All right. Because I am, and if I may say, I am a woman of faith, And I'm gonna tell you that you certainly can't move forward with anything, and from my perspective, without having faith and belief in something, right? And someone. And for many of us, that might be the Lord, for many of us, whatever that is, being able to draw on something that's going to help continue to encourage you and help you filter is what you need, which is a perfect segue into believing in your business and what you are setting forth to do. If you have an idea, for those on the line, and you can just type in the chat, if you already have an existing business, let me know who you are. I know Dr. Paula does, Shelly does. If you have an existing business, type in the chat. Okay, Regina does. All right, Nick, is it Nick? Nikki? Is it Nick? Is that short for Nikki, or is that just Nick, or what do we say?
It's Nick. It's short
Nick.
for Nikia.
Okay,
But I
Nikia.
go by
Okay.
Nick.
Just go by Nick. Okay. So Nick has a business. Teresa has a business. So, I'm going to call on Nick and Teresa because I want you all to share, the believing in your business. Something gave you something to get you started, right? So I believe that you believe in yourself or you wouldn't be here tonight. And you believe in your business concept and idea, or you couldn't have gotten started. So we want to help encourage those who are looking to get into business or go into business and why it's important to start there, believing in your business. Giving yourself that time to build. Now it's time to get it off the ground and get it going. So Teresa, let's get some words of encouragement from you.
Good morning, ladies. So I own the Wingspan Shop, and I also own his Wingspan. And I started this business as a result of my son, who was a special needs student, but was also a student athlete. And he had some shortcomings along the way. And the vision was birthed by wanting to promote student athletes who have disabilities. And in order to fund that portion of my business, I launched the Wingspan Shop, where I do engravings as well as sublimations on several different product lines. I am a small business. I am a woman-owned business. And I just utilized the resources that I had to get where I am today.
Awesome. Regina, why do you believe in your business? How did you get started?
So I am the executive director and founder of a nonprofit entitled Why Not? And I got started because of a train ride. There were two young ladies on a train talking, and I felt that their conversation was very inappropriate for 13 and 14-year-olds. So I decided that day that I was going to start a nonprofit that helped our young ladies understand that they are queens and they should act like such all the time, no matter who's around, who's watching them, who's not watching them. And if no one else ever tells them that they need to know that they are important. Because I felt that way about myself, I feel like everyone else should feel that way. So that's kind of how I got started.
Wow, that's awesome. And you just never know where that inspiration is going to come from. You're riding a train, Teresa, challenges with one of her children, and then next thing you know, his wingspan is spawned, and so Sakina, as you're having all those thoughts, we're hoping that you'll be able to dissect and pull down exactly where that need is. I have another course that I do, don't go into business if there's a 12 steps as to why you shouldn't go into business, and one of them is if you don't know what business you want to go into, right? And so it's very important to try to drill down. But the point is that when you get started, believing in your business is the first step, because if you don't take yourself seriously or don't believe in what you have going on, no one else is, so I think this is the first of the 5 B's that really launches you to get you going. But once you get there, once you said, you know what, I have the concept, I have the drive, I have the energy, I'm definitely going to do this. Then we want to go right into, so what do I do next then, dear Lord? you want to start building the foundation of that business. And I think most of you on here are business owners. And so you probably have you've gone through all of these steps, but there's a many of us out here who just don't know what to do next. So kind of, these are some of the things that as you're getting prepared and you're thinking about, you've written it down, you have the concept, you think you know who your target audience is, you think you know what specifically you want to do, that niche, the area that you're going to go into. These are some other things that you need to consider. And the first thing is researching and informing yourself of the type of business, whether it's hair and beauty, whether it's skincare, whether it's mental health, whether it's, I think we have here counseling sessions. I see Janet is in private practice as in her counseling. And, whatever that business is, Kay Dunn is doing, the body butter. I did make a note, Kay, that, body butter does everybody good, whether you're taking it, cooking with it, or putting it on your skin. Butter does a body good, just a side note. All right. So, but researching and informing yourself. And I do, like, as I mentioned, I have this course, Don't Go Into Business If, the 12 steps as to why you shouldn't. But in reverse of that is there are things for you to think about as you're preparing to go into business that will really, really, really help you. The most important thing here, and this is just as having a legal mind, the legal background, I deal with people, talk with people all the time about structure of formation. Getting a solid foundation and a structure of your business in place is important. Whether you're starting an LLC or whether you're starting a corporation, these are some things in terms of building a solid foundation that are key. So if you're setting up a corporation, understanding the elements, the tax structures around setting up that corporation. If you're setting up an LLC, what's the difference between an LLC and a corporation? Why is there a difference? Why do people lean more towards an LLC versus a corporation? If you're setting up a nonprofit, and we already have one of our queens on here that's running a nonprofit, so let me have you actually share a little bit about, I think it was Regina that has a nonprofit?
Yes.
So you want to talk just 2 seconds about how you kind of got started, what made you decide that you wanted to set up a nonprofit as opposed to a for-profit business?
I chose a nonprofit because I wanted to make sure that my services would be able to be offered free to those that need them. I wanted to make sure that we were grounded in, having a foundation background. Also, if I ever needed to do anything for profit, it still gave me an opportunity to do such.
Got it. And Kay, what made you decide to do, okay, you have a nonprofit and a for-profit. So what made you start the nonprofit?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking to me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm looking at Kay when I see Nick.
Nick. Oh, sorry.
Nick, I'm sorry. Nick, what made you start the nonprofit?
That's okay. One, I've always been an advocate for youth and women, but my vision when I looked at my for-profit business, I looked at a model similar to McCormick and the United Way.
Sure.
Where on my for-profit side of my business that I could establish a business specific for my niche with prices, with a price structure to fit the audience that I wanted. And so to create equal access for women who might not be able to afford, the nonprofit is a perfect segue on a fundraising to offset the cost of a woman meeting, being able to continue to meet the needs, but without
the burden of
losing my profit. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Still got to pay bills.
Exactly. So yeah, and I too have a nonprofit. And what for me, setting up a nonprofit, the benefit there was really for me to really have an organization that poured into the community. And my nonprofit is the Theophelia Foundation, an organization, a grassroots organization that really was built on the principle of helping others. We focus primarily, in the health area and education, and we provide services around the DMV. And I wanted to separate that, from the profit business, as many of you. But again, the point here is that there's distinctions in getting those organizations set up. There are people out here that say they have a nonprofit, but they haven't gotten their 501c3 or their IRS tax status. That's important for you to know, that you have to have that in order for you to get a tax credit. You have to have one of those IRS designations. Well, the 501c3 is the IRS designation for nonprofit status in order for you to get a tax credit. So understanding these corporations, the LLCs, the nonprofits, and the structure and how to set those things up is very, very important. And a lot of this information can be found directly on your Secretary of State's website in the formation of your business. Okay. Once you have that structure set up, then you go out and obtain your EIN number. The EIN number is your identification number by the IRS. And once you have those documents, typically, between setting up your corporation and the LLC, there are other supporting documents you have to have. In the case of a corporation, you need bylaws. In the case of an LLC, you need an operating agreement, which designates ownership. Your nonprofit, you certainly need an EIN number, but you need that nonprofit designation status that says you can actually take money or take in resources, and those donors and those folks making contributions can earn that tax deduction at the end of the year. Once you have those documents in place and you have them with your EIN number, you can then move forward with most banks and opening up your business account. So those three pieces sets you on your way to having a solid foundation. Of course, getting your name, getting your company established with your company name, and all of that is also key. So during the research, making sure your name isn't taken, in the state that you're trying to do business in, and what is going to distinguish what you do and the services you provide from other businesses that are out there that may be doing the same or similar things. So all of these things are important, particularly understanding the legalities of the business, and that structure is important to building your business. So again, we're going from believing in a business to now structuring your business so that you're established. Once you get that piece of paper from the state, that documentation that says, you are hereby, Amex and Associates of the state of Maryland, it's on and popping. And not only does the building of your business, now that you are a business owner, changes, your mindset has to change, because you're no longer just the Joe Blow, going to work every day. You're now a business owner, and that takes on its own. That's a whole nother course. I have a business mindset course that just talks about the changing and the shifting of thinking about how you do business. That even shifts from the people you associate with, because a lot of people don't take you seriously. You say, oh, I own a business. And they're like, well, what business do you own? And a lot of times it's just a lot of, jealousy and all those kind of things is going on. But you have to change your mindset, and the way you go about doing business has a lot to do with how you build your business. Okay. And so these are a couple of things that I wanted to just share around the building your business. I want to take a moment to see if there's any questions at this point. I know we have a break coming up here in a minute, but on the believing and the building in your business, any questions at this? Oh, I see Teresa has a question in the chat. When should a business trademark a name, or should it be done at all? That's a great question. And I talk about that in the branding. In the next piece, we do work with, several people who actually are getting their names trademarked, but we'll go into that in the next section under the branding. I do talk a little bit about the trademarks. Any other questions right now around building the business? Oh, Dr. P.
So my question is around the Duns and Brad's number. I'm
Yes,
not
yes,
clear
yes.
about what that is needed for or when to get that.
That's a great question. Being a government contractor, your Dun and Bradstreet is the number that you have to have. Most, not even most, all companies who do business with the government, particularly, has to have a Dun and Bradstreet number. All right. You can go out and get a Dun and Bradstreet. Any of you all right now who have a business, you can go out and get one of those. They call it the DNB. So the DNB number is equivalent to your personal credit score. You know, the Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. What those organizations are to your personal credit is what the DNB number is to your business. Okay, that's number one. You can go to dnb.com to actually get a number, but you certainly cannot do business with the government unless you have it, because you need that number in order to go into the government's portal, sam.gov, to set yourself up, your business. What the government does is they pull all the information that you put in to set up your DNB number. They pull all that information over to create your sam.gov, your profile in the government's database, which is where the government goes. sam.gov is where the government goes to look you up. And if you don't have a profile in sam.gov, you cannot do business with the government. So that's what the DNB number represents. A lot of companies will ask you, what's your DNB number? What's your Dun & Bradstreet number? When you're partnering with other companies, you know, what's your DNB number? Because they can go and pull, and anyone can pull up your business and kind of see what your trade information looks like. You know, are you paying your creditors on time? If you have a UCC filed against your company, in other words, if you're leasing copiers and things like that, large purchases, a lot of times those companies will, they will go ahead and file a lien against your business because you've leased some of their big equipment, and you will see that against your Dun & Bradstreet number. It's not a bad thing. This is just a rudimentary business practices that a lot of these big corporations, when they lease equipment and things like that, that's what they do. So you'll see that out there. If you've gotten that $5,000 credit limit or credit line, you know, for printing and copying, some of those companies will report how well or how consistent you are with paying your bill. They'll report that. It goes against your DNB. So your DNB number, it serves for multiple purposes. Primarily, it serves as your credit, your credit tracking or the credit mechanism that monitors how well you're doing business. And, the government references it, and so does a lot of your trade partners. So hopefully that helps. Any other questions right now on the building of your believing or the building in your business? Anyone else want to share really quickly, why they think it's important to believe in your business when you're getting started?
So I'd like to share, Ms. Pinckney.
Yes, please.
So one of the things I think is important about believing in your business, it will help you to manage your self-care, and self-care not only with like exercise, rest, sleep, those things, but the self-care that I'm referring to is learning that you need to delegate and you can't do everything alone, and that you need to ask for help.
That is super important, Dr. Blair. I'm really glad you raised that. It is because again, becoming a business owner is no small feat. And if you think you're about to just put in 9 to 5 like you're doing at a regular job, you can think again. So it's important for you to learn to start in the beginning with managing, how you manage your business and incorporating elements and spaces of self-care where you could take an hour, whether you take a day, whether you take 2 minutes, to just part that time just for yourself, because running your own business and being your own boss is 24/7, 365 days a year. You are on. I'm sure Dr. P can testify, Kay, Regina, everyone can testify that it's round the clock. You're getting those calls, It doesn't matter if someone in a mental health crisis, Dr. P is getting a call at midnight, because someone is getting ready to, harm themselves in some way, and she got to show up, and run interference. So there's a lot of things, about the business, and self-care definitely is a great element, to incorporate and consider as you're contemplating or as you are in the midst of conducting your own business. So great point. All right, I think it's time for Chloe. I'm going to have you come in or Colette come in, and we can pause here for a moment before we finish up the rest of the B's and take that break.
Okay, good talk. I hope that we learned a lot. If anything, I learned more about Dun & Bradstreet. Haven't heard about that in a long time, but I learned a little bit more about Dun & Bradstreet. I hope that was beneficial to you all. I want to stop here. We're at 7:51 right now. How about we all return at the top of the hour? That would be 8 o'clock. So let's take a quick break, come back, stretch, get some water, take that potty break, and come on back. And we'll hear once again from the magnificent Jameece Pinckney. All right, see you soon.